Hi everyone, it's Laura Milligan. It is the first Monday in December. That almost seems impossible, but it is. And so we are gearing up to Christmas, which is very exciting. I hope you all had a great weekend and happy Monday to you. This is my weekly Facebook Live. My name is Laura Milligan. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the United States in Canton, Ohio, and I go live pretty much every Monday at 1 p.m. I'm Eastern Standard Time Zone. And so thank you all for joining me. If this is your first time here, thank you for being here. And if you're one of my loyal followers, thank you, of course, to all of you, too. I appreciate all of you. Say hello, give me a shout out. Let me just make sure I'm set up here where I need to be. We've had a busy Monday morning already. Yeah, let me just wait. Okay, there we go. There's Terry, Susie Q, Mary Jo, Colleen, Anne Marie. So welcome everybody. Thank you for watching. So I have some fun things I'm going to share with you today, and I'm doing things a little bit differently. I don't think I've ever done this before, but I have a host code that you will see when I change my camera view. And if you use that between now and Friday for an online order, I will send you the parts and pieces to make the projects that I'm making today. So I just thought that would be a little incentive. You have to place an online order of $35 or more in my store, and I will send you the little kit to make all these things. And look, isn't this funny? I have Santa Claus back here. He's kind of watching over my shoulder. Maybe he's checking to see if I'm on the good list or the bad list. I hope I'm on the good list. I don't know. I've tried to be good this year. So anyway, let me switch my camera view down. Okay, hi Kim, thank you. She says, I love your videos. I appreciate that so much. Hi Tanae, so good to see all of you. So I, first of all, I'm going to start. I've gotten some Christmas cards in the mail and I wanted to share them with you. That's the first thing I always do. So this is a really pretty card. It says, may your Christmas be holly, jolly, and bright. And this is from my friend Kelly. She always makes beautiful cards. So thank you, Kelly, for that. I'm not sure that she ever sees my Facebook Lives. I don't know. And then my friend Shelly sent me this. And this is, I forget the name of this, but look at the beautiful, this is one of those fancy pop-ups. And I know this takes a little bit of time, a lot of time to make. But I thought that was so pretty. Sending peace and joy to you. That's from my friend Shelly. So thank you, Shelly, for that beautiful card. And then this one is from Mary Jo. Mary Jo is watching today. So look how cute. This is this little gingerbread set. And Merry Christmas. I love the paper. I love these big craft note cards. So thank you, Mary Jo, for that. It's so much fun to get these cards in the mail. So last week I made, this was one of the projects that we made. This was a gift card holder, little box. And it uses, let me bring this in here, the Handmade Wishes bundle. Great bundle. Of course, we always love a good punch. And it's not just for Christmas. There's with love for you, handmade for you with love. You could use that for a birthday or really any occasion. But I love this, and I thought what I would do is show you this card. And basically this card uses all the same supplies in a card. So I've embossed a panel. This is that whimsical tree. Let me hold that up so you can see. It's super cute embossing folder with trees. And then I stamped, punched, and just layered it on a little square with a little designer paper behind. I added this really pretty sparkly ribbon. It is called glittered organdy ribbon. I have some here. I'm going to use it today on one of the projects I'm making. But I just wanted to show you that because I think it's good to, when you see a stamp set, you know, you may think of cards, but you can also use it for other things as well. So I just wanted to share that with you today. So the first card that I am going to make, oh, and here's the host code. So if you place an order through me in my online store between today, Monday, and Friday, that would be, that would be December 9th, I will prep and send you a kit with the projects that I'm making today. I've never done that before, but I just thought that might be kind of fun. So the first card that I'm going to make, well, here's this Handmade Wishes bundle. That's the one that I just showed you. It's on page 21 of our July to December mini catalog. The first card I'm going to make features this snow crystal stamp set. It's on page 38 of the mini catalog, and I feel like this stamp is gorgeous, and it's overlooked because it just has this little space in this catalog. There is a sample here, a couple samples, but I feel like people are missing this, and it's a gorgeous stamp. And it is $21. So I'm going to make a card with this. So let me bring in my parts and pieces. It's just the single stamp alone. It doesn't have any words or anything. So you can actually use whatever you want. And I'll show you what I did. So I'm going to use a thick white base. And I have Starry Sky, a panel of Starry Sky. And then I have, this is 4x5 1/4, so I'm pretty sure this panel, let me just double check. You can tell I've been stamping today. Look at my fingers. Covered in ink. That means it's been a good day, right? 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is just a little bit bigger than the quarter sheet. I just wanted a little bit of color behind this. I'm going to stamp on this quarter sheet. And then I have this little panel. That's going to be for my words. And the words are from the Joyful Flurry stamp set. I'm going to use It's a Season of Magic and Wonder, and then the Joyful Wishes. But really, you could use any words that you have. And just so you know, if you do place your order, if you want this kit and use this host code, Stampin' Up! Policy does not allow us to send any stamped images, so I will just be sending you parts and pieces. Okay, so let's start. I have mounted this on my Stamparatus. I like to do that with these bigger stamps, and I'm just going to turn it this way. I'm only going to use one magnet. I really need to re-ink my Starry Sky ink pads, I realized as I was about to go live, but sometimes it takes a while for the ink to settle in and kind of spread out evenly, so I thought I'll just do it this way and hopefully it'll work out okay. So I'm going to ink this up, stamp, give it a good press, my hand. Hi Becky, hi Lisa. Hi, Colleen. Okay, so there we have that, and that looks great. I could do it again. You know what? Why not do it again? That's the beauty of the Stamparatus, and especially when you're using one of these bigger stamps, it's great to mount them on the Stamparatus because it's a good way to make sure the image is nice and dark and get a perfect placement no matter how many times you need it. Hi, Deborah. How are you? Thanks, everybody. Yeah, so you see, I like that better. It's just darker. So let me take this away. And there's my stamped image looking very nice. Then I'm going to stamp my words. This card goes together pretty quickly. This would be one that would be great to mass produce if you have not made your Christmas cards yet. I know a lot of you probably haven't. I've been working on some, but okay. And this is from, like I said, It's a Season of Magic and Wonder. This is from the Joyful Flurry stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on here. I'm going to move it up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing and hopefully get it straight. I was practicing this a little bit and I was having trouble getting all the things I'm stamping today straight, but that looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're ready to put this together. Oh, you know what? Before I'm going to finish up my stamping, I'm going to stamp Joyful Wishes on the inside. And again, you could do anything that you want. I'm going to do this first on here just to make sure. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's straight. Now let's see if I can get it straight in here. Yep, that looks pretty good. The other thing that you could do, which would be really pretty to coordinate with the big snowflake on the front, would be to use some of these on the inside. That would be really pretty to put a couple snowflakes on there. Put some snowflakes on the envelope as well. That would be really pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to just put this card together. I am going to close up my ink. Hi, Gran. How are you? So did anybody do anything fun over the weekend? We had a really nice weekend. So I'm going to layer this piece of Starry Sky cardstock. I love this color. And I always love, there's something about a blue and white and a little bit of silver card for Christmas. I always love that. Okay. Next I'm going to just take this panel with the big snowflake. Have you all noticed this in the catalog? I feel like it's easily missed and it's just striking. I think it's just beautiful. Okay, I'm going to give that a press down. So I have to say, Terry just retired from a full-time job. So she was never able to watch live. She's my friend, and she just retired from a full-time job on Friday. So she's excited because now she can watch my lives actually live. So that's kind of exciting. Congratulations, Terry. So happy for you. Okay, so now I'm going to take this cord, and this comes, let me reach up here, excuse my arm. This comes in a double pack. It's called Simply Elegant Trim, and you get a bolt of the silver and a bolt of the gold cord. And so I'm going to first just tie a bow. Oh my gosh, Charlie is not even in this room with me. He's over in the room. I think he's laying by the door, and I can hear him snoring from here. Poor guy. All right, so I'm going to get my paper snips and just snip this. You could make this bow as big or as little as you want. And then I'm going to take just a bit of this glittered organdy ribbon, which I love, and I think this is so pretty for Christmas as well. I'm just going to cut a little piece. And I'm just going to layer these up. So these are going to be like this, and then they're just going to tuck under those words. So I'm going to take a glue dot. Oops, and there's one sticking to my fingernail. I'll just use that one. So we have that, and I'm going to position that right on this glittered ribbon, like that. And then I'll take another glue dot and put it under here, like that. And that actually, the other thing I'm going to do is put a glue dot on the top. I didn't really need one on the bottom, but that will help hold the whole thing together. So we have that there. And then this is just going to sort of be angled on the corner like that. So pretty. We'll just have to adjust it a little bit. Make sure we can see the bow. Okay, hi Candy, how are you? Oh, went to the zoo lights in Akron, lots of fun. Yeah, so our Akron Zoo, our local zoo, whoops, I need my regular size dimensionals. They do a Christmas light exhibit, and I don't know that I've ever gone, but I've always wanted to. I know Cleveland near me does the same thing, and I love lights at Christmas, don't you? Last night we drove around a little bit, and just in our neighborhood, looking at the Christmas lights. I love to do that. Okay, Debbie, you're retiring in June. I can't believe it. That's exciting. Okay, so this is just going to go right here, like that. I'm going to trim, although I kind of like this long ribbon here, but I'm going to just trim it a little bit, angle it just a little bit like that. Okay, so there we have that. And then we have, of course, Joyful Wishes on the inside. I have my rhinestones. Well, that's exciting, Debbie. You must be looking forward to that. I think Debbie's a mail carrier, and I know that the people that she delivers the mail to love her. They give her gifts all the time, and they're going to miss you. You're going to be hard to replace, Debbie. Okay, so I'm just kind of scattering some of these rhinestones. You could use as many or as little as you want, and I think because it's Christmas, let's bling it up here. 1, 2, 3. So I have 5 on there, so I'm going to do it like that. So there is a really quick, beautiful Christmas card. And again, it uses the snow crystal, beautiful stamp set. This would also be beautiful embossed with embossing powder, heat embossed. So there is my first project. What do you think? I love this card. I think it's so pretty. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And just give me 1 second to put these things out of the way. The next thing I'm going to... oh, Denise says, I get to catch you live. We're having a snow day at school. Wow, where do you live, Denise? I'm curious because maybe you've told me before and I don't remember, but we have not really had much snow at all. And I know my sister-in-law lives up in Michigan, and they have like 3 feet of snow. I'm jealous. You all that know me know that I love snow. Hi, Pat. How are you? Hi, Mary Jo. I already said hi to Mary Jo. Washington State. Oh, wow. That's cool. I love the snow. Okay, so my next project, this is a gift idea, and I love this. I'm going to be making some of these for gifts to give myself, but let me show you what it is. And again, if you order $35 or more using this host code, you will get the parts and pieces to do this. Not the stamped images, of course. You'll have to do that. But this is a little gift box. On the front, it says limited edition with this little flower. The limited edition comes from the limited edition stamp set. You can see the circle right here. You really could use any of these on the front of this, but that's what I used. And when you open it up, this is some seam binding, the white seam binding. I have a panel on the front that I've embossed with the Fern embossing folder. And this also is Starry Sky cardstock. And when you open it up, you will find some really cute, simple note cards. So there's 4 different ones, and I'm going to make these for you. So let me just show you. So I used note cards and envelopes. Well, let me start first by showing you how to make the box. Okay, I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in, and let me see if I can turn this so you can see. So on our paper trimmer, we have 2 blades. Hi, Marianne, how are you? The darker gray blade is the cutting blade, and then the lighter gray blade is the scoring blade. So I have 2 pieces here. One is the top and one is the bottom. Of course, the top is a little bit smaller, but what I'm going to do is just score. I'm going to get my cutting blade out of the way. This piece is 5 1/4 by 6 3/4, and I'm scoring all 4 sides at 3/4 of an inch. And I like to go this way rather than turning it this way. I mean, you definitely could do it that way, but I feel like when you do it this way, if you see there's like the inch mark here and also here, and I feel like if you do it this way, there's more of the piece of cardstock like being supported by this part of the paper trimmer. So I'm going to do this. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Yep, 3/4 of an inch. And you're just going to go around and do that on all 4 sides. This is an easy, quick, easy box. And of course, you could do this in any different color. You could use all kinds of different stamp sets. Okay, and then for the base, This is 5 1/4 by 6. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I got my papers mixed up. Get that out of the way there. 5 3/4 by 7 1/4, and I'm scoring this at 1 inch. So I'm going to do the same thing and just do it using this as the inch mark rather than the one on the inside here. So 1 inch on all 4 sides. Marianne, do you have snow yet where you live? I'm a snow girl. Everybody says, I was born in January, so everybody says that's why I like snow so much. I don't know. But there you have the base of the box. And I'm going to just take my paper snips and trim up to the score line. And flip it around and do the same thing here. Like that. So we have the little flaps here. I'm going to do the same thing with the base. And really a $35 order to get these projects, the kits sent to you. It's pretty easy to do that, especially now with our clearance update and our last chance list. It's pretty easy to get to that point, and I would love to send these kits to you. Okay, now I'm just going to take my bone folder and run it across all these score lines. And then I'm just going to use my glue and glue the top and the bottom of the box together. Wow, Mary Jo says they had 21 inches of snow in November, but it's all melted. Wow. I remember when that happened because my daughter lives in Lakewood, and I don't think she got that much snow, but I remember her talking about snow coming, and I think she had to get out and shovel. So now what I'm going to do is just take the little flaps, and I'm going to tuck those to the inside of my box. This will be the lid. This is the smaller one. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on both sides here. And I'll do the same thing with the base. Okay, so we'll hold those in place. Oh, wet and heavy snow. Yeah, I would probably still like that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll just fold these in. And just hold them a second for that glue to start working. Excuse me. A tickle in my throat. Okay, let's just make sure these are, this one needs to be pushed down a little bit more. There we go. Excuse me. You know what? I have water here. Hold on a second. I'm going to get a quick drink. Okay. All right, so here's the base of our box, and this lid will fit right over this. Like that. And then what I did, and you can see there's just a little bit of the bottom showing. So then what I did was I took a panel, and this I've embossed with the Fern embossing folder. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach that. And then I'm going to stamp. I'm going to use the limited edition stamp set and stamp this circle. I thought that was kind of fun. I think this will make a really cute gift. So I'm just going to stamp that on there. And then I will use, this is one of the layering circle dies. And I'm just going to die cut that out. I've already done that. And there it is. There's my finished one. So I'm going to just glue this on the bottom. I did not pop this up. I'm just going to put this there. So there's that. And then I'll just take a piece of this white seam binding and tie that around, but I've got to make the note cards first, right? So I'm going to take, I have 4 note cards in envelopes, and they will fit perfectly in that little box. And then what I did was I used 2 things for these cards. I used the Nature's Prints, which I know a lot of you have because it was so popular. Everybody loved it. I know I offered a class to go with this, and it was super popular. So I know a lot of you already have this. And then I used the Go-To Greetings, which I think is something that could easily be missed in the annual catalog. But it is a $1 Million Achiever stamp set. Sandy Hartka. This is her Million Achiever stamp set, and it's nice because it has happy birthday, thinking of you, just a note, and thank you, which are really good basic words you could use on all kinds of different cards. And they have them in several different sizes and different fonts. So this, they say Go-To Greetings. The name fits it perfectly. So I'm going to use these. So what I did, let me grab, let's see here. So I'm going to start by just stamping these. So since this stamp set has 4 different, like, sort of focal points, I'll call them, I'm going to use one on each of the cards. So they're all 4 cards will be different. So I'm going to start, I'm just going to stamp these. I've already gone ahead and die cut them, but like there's one, there's the fern. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to take the envelopes, and I'll have coordinating envelopes because I'll just stamp this same thing on one of each of the envelopes. So there we have that one. No, you won't. No, Mary Jo says, if we order 35 this week, will we get a B? You will if your order is over $50 in product. But if it's not, then you won't get a B. But yes, if your order is $50, I guess you could say you could double dip, get the B and the projects. So here's the next one. I'm going to stamp that. And I'm just kind of randomly stamping on this. I will eventually put this through the die cutting machine, but I did do that ahead of time. I like to do that sometimes when I can on my Facebook Lives just to save a little bit of time. And then I'm going to do this here on the envelope. Next one is this little floral image. Do it that way. Yeah, I really need to re-ink this ink pad. So there's that one. And then one more. This one almost looks like wheat to me, but it has flowers on it too. So put that one there. So there are the envelopes that look so pretty. You always want to stamp on your envelopes, right? Okay, then I'm going to stamp, well, so let me show you. I've already die cut these. So if you want to do this, if you want to make this project for me to send to you, like I said, Stampin' Up! Does not allow us to send stamped images. So what I would do is just give you a piece of white cardstock that you would stamp and do your die cutting on. Because you want to stamp first and then die cut. Or you could substitute for something else that you have. So now I'm going to do my words. And I'm going to start with just a note. And I just picked some different ones. Of course, you could do anything at all. And I'm going to practice this one. Yeah. So here's just a note. Happy birthday. Thinking of you. And these little strips are 1 inch by, I believe, about 3.5. Thinking of you. And then the last one is thank you. And this is a bigger font. Okay, so there we have that. That one's kind of crooked, and I actually stamped them ahead of time too, in case I got one that wasn't crooked. I think the rest look pretty good, but this one, there's a straight one. That looks better. Okay, so to put these together, I kept it pretty simple. I'm going to put my ink away so that I don't get it on anything. Okay, so what I did was, I'm just going to start. My first one is this, and of course you could mix and match the words with anything, any of the greetings. They're all pretty generic. You could do any of these. But what I did was, I took a dimensional and put it at the top of my, whatever the die cut was, whatever shape it was. And then I put a little bit of adhesive down at the bottom. I wanted it to be not totally popped up. So I'm just going to put this here like this. And that little bit of glue will just hold that down. And then I'm going to take my words, and these I did pop up. So I'm just going to put dimensionals on either side. And it's just going to catch the bottom of that little sprig. So there you have that. So it does have some dimension, but then it ends up being flat under the words. And I'm going to do that for each one of these. Next one is this one, and same thing, I'm going to put a dimensional just here at the top, a little bit of glue. And this one, I think I'll put thank you. Dimensionals. Anytime you can use the note cards and envelopes, it's a great way to do a quick project. So you don't have to cut the card base. It's also great if you're just a beginning stamper. You don't have to worry about cutting the card base either. I am going to add some embellishments to this, but I'm going to put all the cards together first. Okay, the next one is thinking of you. And what I did for this one, I used just this little sprig. Thank you, Terry. I think they're super cute too. And great gift. So same thing, I'm going to put a dimensional on either end. This one I did a little bit differently. I'm going to put the words on first. Just about right there. And then I have the dimensional up by the flower. And I'm just going to put a dab of glue on the bottom here of the stem. Like that. And this one I decided, since this flower is smaller, I would just do it this way. Look how cute. Isn't that cute? Okay. And then the last one is going to be the happy birthday. And I did the fern for that. Yes, they're very, you're right, Mary Jo. They are very simple and elegant. And I think it would make a great gift. I know I would like this if someone gave this to me as a gift. I have a couple people on my list that are going to get these, so. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to put this on this side as well. I just tried to switch them up a little bit, and then here's my happy birthday. So again, I'm just going to put a dimensional on either side. And I'm going to embellish these with the iridescent pearls. You know, the other thing, people kind of laugh, but something about these note cards and envelopes is that they're smaller than like a regular size card. Like here's the card I just made, and you can see they're quite a bit smaller, which means you don't have to write as much. Sometimes you just want to sign your name and write a short note, and these are perfect for that. Okay, so now I'm going to embellish these, and okay, let's see here. Got a brand new pack of iridescent pearl basic jewels. And I'll just get my take your pick tool, which I just had here somewhere. Hold on, there it is. It's buried. Here it is. Okay, and I'm just going to add some pearls, and you know, of course you could do this any way you want. I just think they're really pretty, and these cards are so simple, but this just adds a little finishing touch. So I'm going to put those three there. So let me hold that up so you can see it. Now let me show you. This is the one. This was my sample, and you can see, well, maybe you can't tell, but you can see this was when my ink pad was inked really well, and I'm going to do that as soon as we're done today. But there's the first one. Thinking of you. I'm just going to put a gem right in the center of that big flower. Like that. You could put a couple down here as well, which why not? That would be pretty. Oops. So there's thinking of you. Thank you. I'm just going to put, I think I'll put one of the larger ones. I think these come in 2 sizes, it looks like, yeah. So I'm just going to put one right there for that, keeping it simple. And then just a note. And I think this, I'll just put this one right there. Okay, so there are my cards. And these will fit right in my box with the envelopes. And what I would do is just tuck whichever card coordinates with whichever envelope. I would just tuck it like that. Whoops. Oh, you know what? I forgot to pull the back of the... That's not good. Huh. There we go. Okay, so there we have that one. And again, I would just tuck these with the corresponding envelope. Oh, I think I put the wrong one with this. Anyway, you get the idea. So those are the projects. So if you're interested in getting the kit to make these cards and the box, and then also I'll include the parts and pieces for you to make this as well, you can go to my online store, lauramilligan.com/shop. And here's the code that you're going to want to use. When I see this code, I'll know that you are interested in getting this kit mailed to you, and I will probably get those out over the weekend or early next week. So I'm going to go back here and just say goodbye. I don't know. I hope you like that idea. I thought that was good, and I know for me, I'm working on making some gifts to give to people with Christmas coming, and I hope this was helpful to you. I will put this on my blog probably tomorrow with the measurements and things, but in the meantime, I hope that you will consider placing an order through me, and I would love to send you this kit. I hope that you all have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. I have more ideas to share with you. So thank you so much for joining me. And as always, I hope you have time to be creative today. Take care, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.